and welcome to Battlefield 4 News episode 65. So this is going to be a short little episode about the netcode improvements. DICE have released a video. Well, they've kind of released it. It's unlisted. If you know where it is, you can go and watch it. But I can't tell you where it is because it's an unlisted video. So the demonstration you're going to see is a test performed with 2 players on an empty server. It's a 64 player conquest server. They're both running at around a 50 millisecond ping time and the network smoothing factor is turned off. So what you'll see is 2 PC screens which are effectively 2 different characters. So when one character jumps, you'll be able to see the delay in the other character seeing him jump. And it's the same with shooting. What they're going to do is one character is going to shoot at the other and they're going to monitor the time difference between pressing the fire button and the other character seeing the muzzle flash. Now these clips are pretty quick, so what I've done is slowed them down. That way you can see the fingers pressing the mouse button or the space key, you can see one character jumping and you can see when it appears on the other screen. Now this of course is going to exaggerate the delays in the videos you're looking at, but all the calculations are based on the figures that DICE gave. So this is the jumping test on the 10Hz retail version of Battlefield 4, and as you can see there is quite a delay on this slowed down version in between the character jumping and the other character seeing him jump. So there's an average delay there of 14 frames, and at 60 Hz that equates to 228 milliseconds. So that's not a massive delay, but it is a massive delay if you're shooting at somebody who's jumping, because you might not hit them. What we're going to see now is the difference with the new netcode, and as you can see it's dropped from 14 frames to 8 or 9 frames. And you can visibly see the difference on these screens, even though this is 6 times slower. So with the improved netcode running at 30 Hz, the delay is down to 8 frames at 60 Hz, which is around 138 milliseconds. So that's 60% better than it was in the old netcode. Now you might be wondering why improving the tick rate by 300% only gives a 60% improvement. Well, that's because you've got the time it takes for the internet connections and for the server to do the processing. But a 60% improvement on the netcode is pretty good. The next 2 clips highlight the changes that the netcode improvements have made to shooting. So one character will shoot at another character, and they're going to monitor the time between the first gun firing and the other player seeing the gun firing. So this is the 10Hz retail version, and remember this is slowed down quite a lot so we can actually see it. It's not that clear on the original video. And this is probably the most important aspect of the netcode, the delay between one player shooting and the other player seeing them shooting and getting shot. So again, in the old version of the netcode, the average delay is 14 frames at 60 Hz. So that's around 238, 239 milliseconds. So now let's look at it with the new version of the netcode. So this is working with the 30 Hz bubble, effectively 3 times the tick rate. So this is slowed down footage of the same test under the same conditions, just with the improved netcode. Of course, slowing it down makes it look worse than it actually is, but it does show you that the delay is considerably shorter in the new version of the netcode. At the end of the video I'll put these clips back to back at normal speed so you can see what these delays actually look like in game. So with the new netcode we get an average delay of 9 frames at 60 Hz, which works out at 150 milliseconds, and that's a 62% improvement on the delay from the original netcode. Now it's kind of hard to comprehend how a delay that's measured in milliseconds affects the gameplay so much, but what you have to consider is how far a bullet has travelled in 240 milliseconds say. It's quite a long way across the map, and even characters are going to have moved quite a distance in that delay period. So decreasing the delay improves the modelling of the world. Now I'm going to run those clips again, this time back to back and without the delay that I put on them. So they're going to be running at normal speed, and then there's going to be the half speed section that Dice put in. So at normal game speed, those delays are pretty hard to spot even with the old netcode, but with the new netcode they're almost impossible to spot at game speeds. We're talking about something that's like an 1/8 of a second delay. So that's why I slowed the clips down to 33% of their speed, so it made it a bit more obvious. Now that did highlight the problem, but I hope you can see that the new netcode is considerably better than the old netcode. The delays are 60% better than they used to be. Now the tests that Dice were doing were under pretty much ideal conditions. They got machines that were running at a good ping, they were on an empty server, although it was a 64-man server, so it was the server running at its highest settings. But hopefully in game we should see similar results. Now these netcode changes are only on the PS4, the Xbox One and the PC. PC rolled out yesterday, the Xbox One and PS4 are both rolling out today with these netcode changes. Now this does rely on the servers to be updated to run. I know it's coming on all of the 48-man servers for PS4 and Xbox One, and it's rolling out across the 64-player servers over the next week or two. For the PC it's a bit more complicated because there's a lot more rental servers, and it relies on the people running the server to actually implement the netcode improvement. But I should imagine that most PC servers will have this within the next week or so. So Dice have made a major push on this netcode issue. They've improved a lot of the 64-man server hardware, and now they've improved the netcode. Now this might be a bit late to get more people playing Battlefield 4, unless of course they put it on a massive sale. But this is going to affect Battlefield Hardline and of course Star Wars Battlefront, which are all going to be essentially running the same netcode and the same engine on probably the same server setup. So for the next couple of days I'm planning on playing on these live servers with the improved netcode and seeing what effect it actually has, and I'll report back when I've got some conclusions. Thanks for watching.